Hi guys, my name is Hayden, and this is my first video on my channel. So yeah, not experienced with YouTube. This is my first vlog style video, and hopefully I don't butcher it too bad and you guys stay around for the video. Which, speaking of, video today is going to be about my experience with bipolar disorder, living with it, finding out my diagnosis, and finding ways to live better while having bipolar 2 disorder. So like I said, my name is Hayden. I'm 24 years old and I live out of the Midwest in the United States. I got my diagnosis of bipolar 2 disorder when I was around, I want to say 21 years old. But I had noticed something was a little bit different when I was around 18, 19 years old, so my late teens. I started noticing something was a little odd. But yeah, I would say, when I started noticing things were different, it was fresh out of high school. I had graduated. I was going to community college for 2 years to kind of save a little bit of money before I went off to university. I just noticed, the biggest thing for me, I've dealt with depression for quite a while, since I was about like 13, 14 years old. But as of right now, I would say the biggest standout factor to me was when I started noticing a bit of hypomanic episodes. A lot of partying, staying up all night, feeling energized, even not getting much sleep within the next, 3 to 5, 6 days, depends. And just a very, very intense up and downs throughout long periods of time. And at the time I had a very old school psych, I don't know if it's psychiatrist, psychologist, either one. I'm pretty sure it's psychiatrist. I always just call them a psych, which probably isn't too politically correct for their profession, but it is what it is. But yeah, I started noticing it, and I had brought it up to my psych at the time, and he said, "Nope, you're fine, Hayden. You've got, generalized depression. That's about it, man." And so, I went on years and years, and I started noticing things were getting really, really worse. And that things were completely different. And so at the time I had tried a new therapist, new psych, everything, just did a full revamp. I felt like I maybe had stuck with these therapists and psychs for a while. Maybe they were a little jaded in their approach, since they had known me, since I was a child. And I was correct. I immediately was tested with the DSM handbook. I believe that's what it's called. But I went through some tests. We monitored my, my moods, all that over a long period of time. I want to say a diagnosis took around, once I started the process, a few months to really nail down. But when you're unmedicated as a person with bipolar, in my experience, it's been very, very difficult. Some people can make it work. For me, I'm a little better on medication, so that's my type of thing. But finally, at around 21 years old, I had gotten my official diagnosis as bipolar 2. Let's check my notes here, where we're going with this. Okay, yeah. So a little bit of a recent path then. I'm now 24, so over the past 3 years, I've been cycled through so many different kinds of medications, anxiety medications, mood stabilizers, antipsychotics, even anxiety drugs. So, I kind of felt like a guinea pig or a lab rat, after quite a few years. And I finally came to a point where I was tired of cycling through meds, still not feeling 100%, and going through all this trouble with the meds and side effects. And finally I'd stopped seeing my small town psych, and I live close enough to the city of Chicago that I can make an hour and a half commute there to Northwestern Hospital, which is a really pretty prestigious hospital in the Chicago area, and got myself a new psych there. Right away, you know, she's been amazing, knocked a bunch of meds off that we tapered off that weren't helping me. It's kind of a wide known thing, I guess, that if you are on an antidepressant while you are bipolar, it can actually trigger manic episodes or hypomanic episodes. So, you know, being on that for so long probably wasn't helping me very much, but, you know, it's all right. But within the past, you know, this past 6 months, we're now halfway through the year of 2025. I did seek treatment at an outpatient hospital, you know, to kind of help me with my mental health, get back on track. At the time, I was very miserable. I was borderline suicidal, which for me is, you know, a really big concern, because when I was 18, I attempted to take my life, you know, which was very serious. So I didn't want that to happen again, obviously. I value my life and I want a future, and that's why I checked myself into an intensive outpatient program. But yeah, the outpatient program was great at, you know, helping me learn more about the stuff that was the groundwork, the basics, you know, self-esteem, taking care of yourself and all that. You know, and I lasted great. And not too long after that, unfortunately, I had not broken up, but I guess we mutually separated, me and my long-term girlfriend. So the relationship ended, and, you know, big change like that has never been helpful for me. Usually that sends me in either a hypomanic or a depressive episode. You know, so that's one thing I had to deal with, and I had a very hard time taking care of myself. I hadn't drinking water in nearly 5 to 6 days, and I got sent to the hospital because I'd passed out at the mall. Just wasn't drinking, passed out, very lightheaded. I felt like I was dying at the time. I didn't know what had happened. You know, you sort of, when you're dealing with bipolar, sometimes you lose that natural ability to take care of yourself that maybe some other people may have. So yeah, that was a big wake-up call for me, going to the hospital like that. And, you know, so that was my big wake-up call, and I developed a little bit of a care plan. So I'd like to share that with you guys. Sorry for such the long introduction, almost an 8-minute introduction. I apologize for that, but here's the good stuff, I promise. So my first step out of 5 steps is to slow down. One thing I've noticed in my life is that I've always wanted to live, especially as somebody who is bipolar. I've noticed I have a tendency to want to live the fast life, the rock star life, whatever you want to call it, living life in the fast lane. I've always wanted to do things all the way. Part of that may be because there was a point in my life where I didn't think I was going to live past 30, you know, and you know, the statistics especially for men with bipolar isn't great, for life expectancy. So, you know, just learning to slow down and enjoy life as a slow burn, rather than, you know, a crash and burn type lifestyle. That's been enormous for me. Still a humongous struggle. It's something that I battle with every day at this point right now, but it's something that I'm taking day by day, hour by hour if I have to. And it's been really helpful for me. So step 1, slow down. It's all right. Next step was a huge one for me as well, and that is prioritize your health. And when I say this, I specifically said your health and not you, because sometimes you can want something different than what your body needs. And unfortunately, that's something I've learned the hard way. You know, for me, you know, perfect example being dehydrated. You know, I was rapid cycling through a bunch of, you know, depressive, hypomanic episodes. I was doing everything I wanted except for what my body needed. So that's one thing that I have worked on as of late, is trying to, you know, prioritize my health and what my body needs. taking my medicine, drinking water, eating, you know, at least 2 meals a day. 3 is the greatest. And just making sure I'm doing what I need for my body to function and to be the best I can be. Now, the next step I have here is create a care team. This one I know is not a readily available option for everyone. I am thankful and grateful enough and lucky enough to have a family that's been supportive, family and friends that, you know, check in with me, help remind me to take my medication. I have a wonderful therapist now. I have a great psychologist or psychiatrist now. And just overall having a group of people around you that can help lift you up, you know, when you need it. Because like I said before, if you have bipolar disorder, it can be very difficult to just do the basic necessities to live. You know, kind of get sidelined when you're just trying to function every day. So that's one big thing for me is creating a good care team for yourself, whether that be friends, family, medical professionals, you know, mentors, anything like that, you know, whatever you can muster. It's really been an amazing addition to my care plan by having a care team. My fourth step is going to be accepting that life is different. Unfortunately, life can be a little different for people who are bipolar. Certain things that I used to be able to do in the past in moderation, I have a lot more trouble doing. You know, in full honesty, whether that be, you know, partying, you know, spending money, all that kind of stuff. When you're hypomanic or depressive, you know, it can make both of those things at different extremes very difficult to manage. You know, so just accepting that, you know, life is going to be different for us. You know, if you have bipolar disorder, others aren't going to understand. It's impossible for them to unless they have it. It's impossible for them to understand, but that's okay. You just have to accept that these are the cards we've been dealt. And we just got to do our best to adjust and move forward, you know. And lastly, probably the biggest step is that I've noticed for myself is giving yourself grace. You're gonna fuck up. That's just the nature of it. And if you're bipolar, it's extremely difficult to maintain a steady lifestyle sometimes, and you're gonna mess up. You know, you're gonna do things that you regret. You're going to make mistakes that, you know, are gonna be hard to explain to other people. But constantly beating yourself up about it and making you, you know, feel like this terrible person, it's not going to be helpful to, you know, not only prevent those from happening in the future, but, you know, just living healthily, it's not going to help. You know, that doesn't mean, you know, not holding yourself accountable, but by the very least, give yourself basic grace you would give any other human being with a mental illness, because you are a human being. Sometimes it's easy to feel like, you know, you deserve more punishment than others. At least that's how it's been for me. I hold myself to a high standard, and if I don't meet it, sometimes I beat myself up about it. But like I said, you know, give yourself some grace. But yeah, that's about all I got right here. I'm a little nervous, you know, being in public recording a video. I'm in the middle of nowhere, but there's some people giving me odd looks here and there, so I'm probably going to wrap it up about here. But hopefully this was a little helpful to my friends out there who are bipolar or who may know people who are bipolar. It's my hope that I was able to help you guys a little bit here with my care plan that I'm rolling with right now. And yeah, I plan on posting a lot of cool videos in the future, just about me and my life, my interests. I love art, literature, photography, music, all that kind of stuff. I love it all. And I want to keep posting stuff about that and, you know, just overall keep you guys updated in my life. Very excited to be starting this channel, and I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. But yeah, that's all I got for you guys today. Signing out.